Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another Outhouse review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Harbor Freights. Well, basically it's from branded Gordon, but it's pretty much my personal opinion, it's kind of like a similar version of the Gerber Paraframe. So we're going to take a look at it, put it to work, see how well it performs, and I'll probably run it here beside the paraframes there, and just so you can get a look at them, see how they compare to just how they look. These three right here in front of you, these are actually Gerber paraframes. You got a large, medium, and small, and this is Gordon Harbor Freight branded. Not an exact copy by any means, but I think that you can kind of see what they were kind of going for there. It's pretty well same size as the medium size paraframe from Gerber. Let me get that down just a little bit. Anyway, I just thought I'd make mention of that in case anybody happened to have been a fan of the paraframe and you either can't get it. I'm not 100% sure, but for some reason I'm thinking I heard that Gerber no longer makes the paraframes. Don't hold me to that. But I'll do a video on these paraframes because I do have a little bit to say about the paraframes from Gerber. This is the larger one. All right, enough of the comparison here. We'll get reset here and we'll start seeing how well the Harbor Freights Gordon variety of paraframe works. Now, I originally got this at the video I did for Harbor Freight Challenge when I was looking for a cutting tool. Don't really remember the price of this. I know it wasn't that much. It was pretty sure it wasn't even over $10. Haven't really used it much yet, but now I figure it's as good as time as any. So we're going to be kind of learning about this knife at the same time. It's checker clip. That's actually pretty stout, surprisingly so. That's a pretty good stiff pocket clip. It's removable, but unfortunately there's no way to change it. You can't change it from left side, right side, up, tip down carry. It's just pretty much there or none at all. But like I said, if you're putting these thinner frame knives in the kits, you can remove these clips. You got more space. But let's see how she cuts. It's a piece of dry pine too, so if that has any importance to the viewer, let you know what I'm actually cutting into here. However, it seems to be performing decent enough on this pine, making a feather stick. There, I lost a couple. Pushed a little too hard. Okay. That's not too bad. Still got a little bit of the old ugly stick, guys, so we're going to kind of just hog off some bigger pieces here. Getting a little bit of resistance on that, trying to bite in deep and going. It's, to be honest with you, I'm about running out of wood here. Now, if we get near the part with the bark, it really kind of slows down the cutting. But I'm going to say it's not too bad. So, hey, for a small pocket knife, you're not going to be using it to force through wood anyway, so it's not too hateful. All right, we got some cordage here. This is part of an old bootlace. I do expect some resistance on this test, but we shall see. Not super bad. That wasn't the worst. Let's get us a double loop of that. Yep, good bit of resistance there. The cut is, when you're to focus for y'all, it's not super bad, but I did have to put a decent little bit of force in that. So that means it could use some touching up to make that bevel a little more uniform, put a little bit better of an edge on it. All right, see how well we can. Let's move that camera in just a little bit. Yeah. That's not too bad. That performed pretty decent on that. As always, I like to do a little bit of cutting with some cardboard, because usually after I do all the testing, and I'll especially cutting through this cardboard, like test to see if it'll still shave hair. At least give me a somewhat of a decent idea of the blade retention. So. Decently clean cut. Let's get one more long draw cut here. See how well we do. That's actually not too bad. Like I said, I'm keeping in mind the price point of this knife. So, I do have some expectations on what it needs to do. So far, it's performing well within parameters. Yeah, it's not too bad. All right, let's see if we can knock this thing through this little bit of wood here without damaging anything. No wiggles. Lock still engaged quite well. All right. Well, let's see if she'll shave. Well, there you go. Actually, I'm decently impressed. Not going to lie, I didn't figure that thing would hold its edge that well. Well, guys, what do I think? I think for the price, not bad at all. Said that there's no long term with this yet, but initial impressions are kind of important. Like I said, for the price, I got to say, not bad, because it's not so expensive that you can't buy a couple of these, and if you happen to lose them or they do break on you, you're not out a lot of money, and which sucks. And two, like I said, you're making up multiple kits, maybe, or not so much for yourself, but your family members and stuff, and to have the ability to get some extra cutting tools in those kits that's not going to break the bank. It's pretty nice. I could have done a budget video on this just as well as an Outhouse review, but I wanted to get more into the immediate testing of it. So kind of just said, you know what, I'll just do the Outhouse review and mention the fact that, it's budget items. So if anybody's interested in that, like I said, Harbor Freight, I wish I could have remembered the price, but I don't. They're not expensive. I do know that. It might be in between $7-10. I could be wrong, but I know they're not that pricey. Whereas, I don't remember the paraframes with the Gerbers. Prices were kind of erratic throughout where I lived. I could find them several up to $5 difference between Walmart, Ace Hardware back when they carried them. But this should be pretty close to a relative price across the board in most places, I'd think. So like I said, now, would I recommend this? Yes. I said, understand that I haven't had much time with this blade, so as far as how long it will last, I can't honestly say, but initial impressions are good. I've got a lot of experience with knives. I even make knives sometimes, so I do have some pretty good experience behind my opinions on these after I test them out. I can kind of tell by the construction, but with always, do your own research and test, obviously. Don't take any one person's word for anything. And like, even when you buy good knives, sometimes you can get some that are duds. Like, it happens, not all of them that come off the manufacturing line are going to be, just right. Its portability's nice. Its form factor is good. I mean, it feels pretty decent in the hand. Yeah, I get a good grip on it. I got big hands, so it's got a pretty generous handle. And I do like the flipper on it, which acts as a pretty nice stop. Now, typically in using knives, I've had to push into things. I'll be working on something. I've been, cutting cardboard, insulation, you name it. And sometimes rubber. There's been sometimes, it may not apply to everybody, but but sometimes you might need to push your knife into, say, a sheet of rubberized material and draw down it, and it's nice to have something to not worry about your hand slipping up on the edge. Now, food prep, its profile where the bevel is a little thick behind the cutting edge. I said, if you took time to work that down a little bit, make that a little bit thinner, I'd say do pretty decent for food prep. But as it comes, it'll cut. But you're not going to take this thing and slice it right through a tomato, make perfect thin slices like that. It's a knife, though. It works. So anybody's into consideration, if you like the concept of, like I said, the Paraframe by Gerber. We'll pop the Gerber out again. That way, kind of, if you can't find it anymore, unless you're absolutely stuck on having, the name brand one, this may be a nice little option. It's made in the same vein. I almost wouldn't necessarily call it a direct rip-off. There's enough differences in the design, handle shape, cutout shape. The only thing that's really almost a knockoff, but I don't really think you can call it a knockoff, because you can't really say a blade shape that's been a traditional blade shape for hundreds of years can, like, oh, you can't make that because I made it. But Yeah, got the clip point. Pretty similar. But like I said, that's pretty well, that's a traditional blade shape. So, like I said, the handle is pretty comfortable. It's pretty strong. The lockup, which is very important, is real tight and it's in there very well. I mean, it completely covers the underside of the blade. And like I said, it's pretty stout. I'm not getting any kind of play out of it. So keep that in mind. If you're interested, go to your local Harbor Freight and pick one up. Pick up a couple, throw them in some kits. With that, guys, thank you for watching. Like I said, we're getting pretty close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll see y'all in their video.